All right, welcome back. It's time for us to get into the news review segment. Now, this segment is interactive, and so we do want to hear from you throughout the conversations that we'll be having here on air. Now, the WhatsApp line is 0204-447-033. So engage with us, share your thoughts with us on the various conversations that we'll be having, and so on and so forth. We also have a hashtag Breakfast Daily, hashtag citynewsroom.com. Sorry, hashtag City Newsroom, hashtag Breakfast Daily. You can use that to also engage with us as we are streaming on different platforms, and if you happen to comment on that, share your thoughts, add the hashtag Breakfast Daily, and we'll read it out here on air. All right, so some of the conversations we'll be looking at this morning, we're looking at the Akufo statue. It's brought a lot of angst, and especially in Sekondi-Takoradi, residents are fuming over the project and asking for its removal. So we'll be delving into that. Parliamentary impasse. The Speaker adjourns the House indefinitely again, and this happened before the weekend. And so we'll be looking at that story as well. And of course, we know that the Supreme Court is making a declaration today, a ruling today. So we'll wait to hear from that. But I will add it to the conversation that we're having. And the 2024 general elections, Baumia has announced actually free dialysis treatment from December 1, right? And so the comments on this I'll be eliciting them from my guest this morning. So do share your thoughts with us also as we delve into the conversations. I've been joined on the set this morning by Ibrahim J. He is Assistant Secretary at the Office of the Presidency. We're also expecting Victor Addo shortly from the NDC. Yes. Ibrahim,
good morning.
How are you?
Very well.
Super. It's good to have you here.
Likewise. It's always a privilege and an honor to grace your set.
You had a good weekend?
I had a very good weekend.
Okay, that's good.
A lot involved, lots to do. And it was well occupied, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
And we're building a lot of successes. The weekend was in Elejokuku.
Okay.
Campaigning with Honorable Dr. Okoboy. So in terms of the zones we were going, the polling stations that we were visiting, and the appreciation that we were getting, the feedback we were getting. Yeah. It's always uplifting on two fronts. One, when people tell you the marvelous things that Dr. Okoboy and the MPP, Dr. Baumi are doing, and then two, their concerns. So you don't get complacent, so that you continue to add value. And so the engagements we had over the weekend encouraged me that God willing, inshallah, will take the seat and we'll take the presidency. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's get right into the stories now. I want to take the story from ChannelOneNews.com. Sekondi-Takoradi residents call for removal of Akufo-Addo's statue. Now, the residents of Sekondi-Takoradi have expressed their disapproval and surprise over the erection of a statue of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo outside Efiankwanta Regional Hospital, reportedly in recognition of his contributions to the Western region. Several residents, speaking with ChannelOne TV, argued that the statue is undeserved, citing numerous uncompleted projects in the region, including the Takoradi Market Circle, the PTC roundabout, the 3-tier interchange, and the dualization of the Sekondi-Takoradi Road. Now, they expressed frustration over stalled projects, some of which they noted have been delayed due to IMF negotiations. The statue appeared just after President Akufo-Addo's thank you tour on November 6th, sparking a backlash from residents who felt it was premature and unjustified. Now, Echo George from New Takoradi remarked, "The statue here is shameful. It should have been done in his hometown. He hasn't achieved enough in Takoradi to deserve this honor. We will bring it down if we have to." Another resident, Emmanuel DeWise, added, "President Akufo-Addo hasn't reached the level for this kind of honor. Compared to past presidents' contributions here, this is undeserved." Alex Kobner, a Sekondi-Takoradi local, commented on the unusual timing, stating, "No sitting president should be erecting their own statue. It should be reserved for leaders who have left a lasting impact. We're ready to try Mahama again." Kweku Yawa voiced his frustration, saying Akufo Addo hasn't done anything tangible here. The statue should be removed. Even the road to the hospital isn't complete. Nana Dinkra from Takoradi echoed these sentiments, suggesting it would be more fitting to honor a local leader or wait until the projects in the region were completed. Right, before I listen to my guest this morning, let me introduce to us Victor Kojoga Adawudu. He's a member of the NDC Legal and Communications team. Victor, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Right. Good weekend?
Oh, yes, by our standards.
Yeah?
Yes.
Wonderful.
We always look forward to a good day. This is the day the Lord has made.
Amen.
So we should always rejoice
Amen.
in it.
Amen.
In spite of all the hardship, you just have to look at the brighter side of life
All
and
right.
move on. Yeah.
Okay, let me start with Ibrahim. So, a statue has been erected. I'm not sure if I've seen any reports that suggest it came from the presidency, but a statue has been erected and it's an effigy of the sitting president. It sort of left a bit of a bad taste in some people's mouths, considering that he is a sitting president, and usually, or I should say typically, effigies are, monuments are erected in honor of people, who have maybe, should I say, after their time in office, and that's what's typical. It doesn't mean we should always do what's typical, but I'm just saying that usually that's what happens, and somehow in the different discussions that have come up with our news reportage, various people were commenting and saying different things, and this was one of them that they commented on. I don't know what your understanding of what's going on is exactly.
Okay. Well, David, firstly, thank you very much. A good morning once again into Victor. A very good morning. First and foremost, I think you were right. I know you were right when you said that it did not, per your information, come from the presidency. It did not. Emphatically, categorically, without any iota of doubt. This appreciation of President Nana Addo Akufo Addo came from the Western region themselves. And so I want us to establish that fact.
Okay.
To help us shape and inform the, let's say, if not debate, the contributions that we're going to make on this platform.
Okay.
You cannot in any way somehow legislate that people should not appreciate your good works.
Okay.
You cannot.
Okay.
It's like, I remember when Obasanjo came here, 2003 or 4 thereabouts, I can't remember the exact year. And the highway was named after him, near Kalkudi.
Yes.
George Bush Highway, the same, was named after him during their lifetimes. Okay? You've had instances where institutions are named after sitting presidents.
Okay.
Am I right? I'm just across board.
Would you have examples?
I'll give one in a minute.
Okay.
When the populace, a community, an institution, out of their own volition, decide to appreciate somebody, let's frame it in that context.
Okay.
And then I think it helps us.
Okay.
Because can you imagine somebody does something to appreciate you, Dave? You say, oh, I mean, person small. I mean, one, you are slighting that.
The person's-
that person. You take it in good faith and just say, oh, thank you very much. To be acknowledged for your good works is something that I think should motivate all of us. You can just look at, for example, what has been done in terms of the rehabilitation of the hospital. Okay, these are all things that the Western region leadership saw fit to do what? Honor President Akufo Addo. And it's not for him to say, I don't want this. School enrollment, for example, in 2016 was 113,696. I'm talking at the senior high school level.
Okay.
Yeah, from the Ghana Statistical Service, so you can Google and get it. 2023, same region, same people. Now school enrollment shoots up from from 113,696 to 141,919. Nearly 142,000.
Okay.
Over 35,000 more young men and women have been given an opportunity to do what? Become something of themselves, to create career paths. These are all the things that add value or inform the Western Region leadership for honoring Nana Addo Akufo with the statue. Personally, I see nothing wrong with it. Now I'll explain to you why.
Okay.
If, for example, you had an institution wanting to honor Nikamatefio, Samuel Kamensa, here. Now these are gurus within the broadcast media. These are the Inky fraternity or the digital fraternity, we can call it these days. Why should anybody somehow say that is wrong? If indeed what they've done to reshape Ghana's media landscape, add value, give us a voice so that our opinions are heard, not just in Ghana, but again, across the continent. I'm talking ChannelOne because you're on the DSTV platform, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that kind of, how can I say, value addition can rightly be recognized. And it's not for other media houses, especially when you have not commissioned that reward or accolades. Oh no, we don't like this. Why? Do some and get some.
Okay.
You know, across board, every single industry, when you look at in terms of the way in which we've impacted growth within the Western region, you know, I mean, that is where that is the ground zero for our oil. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. See how Western region from 2017 to now, unless you have not been there, then don't comment. But if you've been there and you can see how lives have been transformed. What happened, I remember 2017, not 2017, sorry, from around 2013 thereabouts, you started seeing property rates in Takoradi specifically appreciating to the point that people were in fact complaining. It is a consequence of economic growth fueled by the oil, discovery of oil.
Yeah.
Why should anybody in any way, shape or form poo-poo that? You saw employment increasing, infrastructure development increasing, the railway lines being developed there, energy, real incomes increasing within the Takoradi metropolis precisely because of what? The influx of economic activity, which had been, of course, what? Engineered by the discovery of oil. And who engineered the oil discovery? NPP under President Akufo. Let's put things where they belong. Let's give credit where they belong. And that value chain of Takoradi's economic resurgence within the Western region as a whole, I'm using Takoradi as my focal point, but within the region, that growth has then been channeled into rehabilitating the hospital, principally, the educational sector, whether it's STEM, TVET, you know, making sure that when we had what we called teacher training colleges, which are now university colleges, because you saw that transformation of that educational sector.
Yeah.
And so across every indice, and again, I urge our viewers just to go online and check, you know, Ghana Statistical Service, and you'll see that all of these trends, the development under the leadership of Nana Addo Akufo, the President David, we cannot in any way, shape or form somehow tell the leadership that their appreciation of him in this way is misplaced.
So I think a lot of people probably felt that maybe the president himself commissioned this statue.
He did
so
not.
that's probably where it's coming from. But I'm also wondering the optics of it, you know, because it's sitting right in an uncompleted, underdeveloped roundabout, you know. The road network there hasn't been completed and all of that. So I'm also wondering that even if it was the Western regional leadership, was it the right time, you know? Because again, it's all about the optics really at the end of the day.
I agree. And that one I'll be 100% straight with you. I agree with you in terms of the optics. Everything is the lens through which you see it. Am I right? But then I go back to what my earlier submission. President Akufo Addo did not commission this. He did not ask for it. There's no knowledge, in that when you come here, we're going to do X, Y, Z, And so, how do you then tell people, I mean, can you imagine the optics then? In terms of you somehow insulted somebody or a block of leadership. I said to you, I agree with you. I'm not being. This is
I know.
But understand. That's why I gave you the example. We honor you, David, for X, Y, Z. We, myself and Victor. And because maybe the timing is not right, you then malign me and Victor's genuine efforts to appreciate you. How would we feel towards you then?
Yeah.
So you're right. There are optics to be considered, but because the president did not commission it, how can he then refuse? Are you following me?
Okay.
Yes.
I understand that. I'm just wondering if he couldn't have said to them, listen, why don't we finish up the road and then we can put it up or something like that.
Then you're looking about that kind of forewarned information.
Anyway.
Are you following me?
Anyway.
And something that's been done and then you want to, it's a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. All right.
But I'm sure that the Western region, when they see the multitude of where they were, when I say they, we were in 2016 and where we are now, Western region economy, employment, infrastructure development, natural resources being properly exploited and adding value not only to the Western region's economy, but the economy as a whole, then you can understand why they wish to honor the president.
Thank you very much. Victor, so the residents, which our correspondent, Ekosi Enimeje, I imagine, we spoke to quite randomly, at least 4 or 5 of them on the record, mentioned a number of different things. So, mentioned uncompleted projects, including Takoradi Market Circle, the PTC roundabout, and the 3-tier interchange that's happening there. Also, the dualization of the Sekondi-Takoradi road. Ibrahim gave us some projects that have been done and completed there, but there seems to be quite a lot that's also been left undone, and this seems to be provoking the angst that we are feeling from the people down there. I don't know what you see regarding this.
I think rightly so. The residents, like we've said, must be angry. It is shameful. Look,
that's strong?
Oh yes, it is shameful. In a sense that when the people are reeling under pressure, hardship, hunger, and they want their roads even to get to the hospital, where they run about, if you're Kwanta, that's the hospital. It's not being done. But the priority is to put a statute. You see?
So who would you blame for this?
That is a government property. The runabout, who controls it? Is it not the Sekondi-Takoradi Metropolitan?
Yes.
It is all at them.
The ones,
Are they not government appointees, the municipal, the Metro Chief Executive, and even the regional minister? So there is no way a private citizen, as he wants to say that it is the party leadership. Is it the party leadership or the appointees that decided that we want to put this statute? Look, no private citizen can have access to this runabout. Let's put it on point. No private citizen, if you don't have the power from government that you have control over this, you cannot go and do this one.
Fair enough.
If that is it, then people would be, because they like maybe Samens, he's done well, let's go and put a statute for Samens at Circle, the runabout. You can't do that. It is not possible. Right? Private citizens cannot do that. So government should not be running away and say that it is without their knowledge.
No, but without the knowledge of the presidency.
Of the president.
Yes. Of the presidency.
Right. So, whilst they are doing this, right, the presidency was not aware. But the president had to go there and commission it.
No, I
think
he
didn't go there.
I think he went to commission something else. Then after he left, because the story says that after he left, this was then erected.
Yes. Victor,
But
be
this
honest
is in
to
front of the hospital.
Why?
Yes.
Principally,
Now,
why you went.
now,
I'll allow you
now.
to finish, but
Yeah.
be truthful to what the narrative.
That's so. If he hasn't
It did not go there for that, Victor. Let's be honest.
Yes,
We
but the
can-
statute
Yeah.
in the history of this country, you see, there is no president during his lifetime went and had a bust, a statute for himself. I see this. Yes, the president may have done some work, right, for this country, but it is not like a self-praising yourself or self-aggrandizement. You get there and say that this. Look, it is unfortunate to say that this president we have, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, right, moved from being a Democrat and now he's becoming a dictator.
How so?
I'll give you reasons why. I'll give you reasons why it is so. You see, let me take this one, then I'll come to that. When Ibrahim was saying that roads, highways have been named after prominent people, Obasanjo, George Bush, even the late President Mills, they named the highway after him. Komla Dumo,
Yeah.
they named the
It's a
street before him.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying that don't name street, right, after any president or any. But to the extent that, so you are just comparing oranges and apples. This is highway, this is road. Nobody will have raised an eyebrow or have said anything if it was a highway that was named after the president. Nobody had issue with it. Even when John Kuma, Dr. John Kuma, may he so rest in peace,
Yeah.
when he was the chief executive for the NIP, he built a center. It was named after the president. Wasn't it named after the president? Nobody had issues with it. Nobody had issues with it. Even the communication minister, Esla, she built a place and named it after her mother.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Named it after her mother. All the states, the reason why people are looking at it that, so this, did the state's money go into it? When you say you want to protect the state's coffers, did we have states money going into this, or it's come from private people? That's the question we are asking. That's why the people are looking at it that, look, when you say we don't have money, things are difficult for us. This is what you think you can use the money to do without completing the project, even the road to the hospital. When dust, everything is coming into the hospital. Look at the roundabout. Look at the hospital. This is why the people are complaining. Two, if we are saying that this statute, nobody says that, look, the purpose of raising a statue or building a statue is to remember the good works. So that people will emulate what somebody has achieved, what somebody has done for his community or has done for his nation, right? So it is not per se to say that the statute that will be raised in memory of somebody or whilst he's alive, right? It's not the timing, it's wrong. Look, the projects the PTC ran about, they have said that always World Bank has suspended. You've gone to World Bank. All the governments have gone to World Bank before. Haven't they finished their project? How many of the governments went to World Bank and at the end of the day, citizens need to have haircuts because it's a World Bank condition? How many of the governments? We've been to World Bank 17 or 18 times. When did we hear that we've gone to World Bank and we had to do haircut? And unfortunately, one of the prominent citizens, he complained last year, Dr. Ajekun, he passed. Because all his expectation, money he had, everything is gone. You see, when you look at the Western region, everybody was happy when the oil was found. Things were booming. But as it is today, it is not. Almost all the oil companies are moving from Takoradi to Côte d'Ivoire. Almost all of them, the companies. Our oil, the level of oil is dipping. It's dipping.
That means dipping. Well,
What we used to, what we used to.
So we're not churning out as many.
No, we are not churning out
as we used
many
to?
barrels as we used to.
Really?
Yes, and there's no much investment into the oil. I'm a student. I just finished my energy law, right? So when I'm saying I won't come here and spew anything,
then back it up with facts. You can't just make a statement.
Oh yes,
in vacuum.
I'll back it in facts.
Yes.
Even any Envitor, while we had that issue, which I believe that the investors felt that their hands were being twisted, and the court had even also issued a warrant against the Envitor, they had to relocate to Côte d'Ivoire. That tells you how the oil. The only good thing, I think the good thing is that for us now, I think Springfield has found a new world. While they said they should appraise the Afina. The Afina that they have been appraised, that we are praying that, look, the way things used to be, it will bounce back. So, if we are talking about the statue, naming of road and the rest, that is, you see, when he always talks about the free HSS enrollment, nobody says that enrollment should go down. It is nobody's wish. But you see, the free HSS, it is government's money. It's not somebody's personal money he used in doing it. That is why everybody says, yes, it is one of the good policies, but its implementation has problems. And once there are problems to its implementation, we'll have to fine-tune it. We fine-tune it, and somebody says that, no, there should be legislation to protect my policy. There should be this. It is government policy. Government money that is being used for it.
Okay.
Are you getting? So once we go on with all this, I think that the people are right? They are not happy. Nobody is saying that your status should not be raised for any leader who has done so much for the country or his community. But the timing and putting this there is what the people are angry about. PTC has been there, the runabout, the dualization of the road. It dust when you go to using that Sekondi road, Takoradi Sekondi road, it's always dusty. The road has not been done. And this is what the people are complaining of.
And the point I was making, David, just 30 seconds. Victor, frame your response within the context of the reality. The reality is this. You're saying that President Akufo, by implication, should not have done this. He did not do it. I want the viewers to understand. No, Victor, let's be fair. I'm coming.
When he said it, government money did not
on
go
this
into
issue.
that.
Victor, you're looking at economic growth within the region. Just now you said that oil production is down. Give me the data, and then we can discuss it. Because you started and you give me the data. Coming.
Yes, I'll give
and
you
then
data.
you're saying that we need to go for a break.
It's an appreciation of the total development of the region.
Fair enough.
That's why he was there, not to do commission the statute.
Have you committed public funds into that?
Please hold on.
Or private funds?
Please hold on for me.
I'll ask.